Greetings, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode of Cultural Conversations. It's your boy Heem, and I'm back here with my guy, DJ Cadero, the number one DJ in the game.
Yeah.
And guess what, y'all?
Yeah.
We got another person. We got another special guest.
Let's go.
So tell us real quick who you are, my good man, and what you do.
What's the word? My name is Finesse. I'm a photographer / videographer. You can, my socials _ Finesse Media. I do it all.
Yeah.
Make sure to go check that out.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we're talking about. And just like this platform, it's a dialogue between the African and the African American. So, brother Finesse, tell us about you. Are you African? Are you African American? What side are you on, brother?
I mean, my genetics, my DNA. I'm African, but I was raised here. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got that African American
Right.
in me as well. Just my environment.
So, what's your African side? Tell us a little bit where you from. Where you hailing from on your African side?
African side, born in Tanzania.
Hey, Tanzania, stand up.
Tanzania, East Africa. But yeah, no, we was born there, but we came here real early, refugee. So I don't really remember too much about that. I'm gonna be honest, I was raised and raised here, and so yeah, I can't really tell y'all too much about back home, but we gonna for sure go back and visit. You know what I'm saying?
So what's here? What's your African American hood? So what's that? What's here? Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, I'm not really too ghetto, all right?
We know. We see the braces.
We ain't really all that bad, but y'all can hear it. I ain't got no accent. So it really, if I don't really tell y'all where it's from, if y'all really seen it, most people would think I was from here, I ain't got no accent. I ain't got none of that. It was just a straight peer. I sound like a straight African American.
Hey,
and y'all missed it, though, too. I had dreads, too.
Dreads?
Real long, too.
Wow.
And I really just cut them off, too, so
Just
y'all
cut
couldn't
'em
really
off.
distinguish me.
So you got the fresh fade action going on.
Hold on.
Man, my guy still got hair. Look at the tape line.
I had.
Oh my God.
This is like 4 days old. I just caught the dreads, man.
Wait, what did your African mom say when you walked in without dreads?
Oh my
man.
God. Oh my goodness.
Yo. She hugged me. She
No.
was ecstatic. Yo. The smile on her face. No. The funny part is, yo, African moms, they real big in church and everything like that.
Yeah.
Said she's gonna go. You know how they I don't know what type of church y'all been to or African churches, but sometimes they got this thing where you go up and just give thanks to something that happened in your life or a situation. And it was like, okay, this is God, like God did this.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, so she said she's gonna go in church, get up and stand in the front and give thanks that I come out your
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Ain't that
Praise
crazy?
God.
That's real wild.
Praise
I'm
God.
What?
Yes.
Because you cut your
Cause
dreads.
I come out your
Yes. You're looking like a handsome young man now.
Her words. Exactly. You know what? Yo.
Why do you think it's like that for African parents? They don't like long hair.
Bro,
I'm
more so I'm thinking it's biblical because they always bring up the Bible when it's that it's like oh you look like a girl.
absolutely. Yeah, they say that. Yeah,
They say that a lot.
Yeah.
Boys are supposed to
Are
keep
you a
French.
woman?
Are you a woman?
Yeah.
That's what the Africans be saying.
Yeah,
Dreads,
absolutely.
Dreads make you look like a gangster.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's
That's what
exactly
my
that
mama be
too.
saying. Up here looking like a damn gang banger. So go ahead, proceed.
Oh man, just that. Even me looking like a thug, straight hoodlum with my dress. She said, if I didn't know you, I would think you was just one of them bad boys. So if I seen you walking, I'll go on the other side.
Oh,
I'm like, but you know me though, But it's like if I didn't, I would just
Yeah,
assume
she
that.
wouldn't
You know
love
what I'm
you.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's if also, because I'm assuming you don't stay with your mama, do you?
I do.
You do?
I do.
So if you don't listen, she'll switch up on you. That's why she's saying that.
That's a fact.
Because she'll switch up on you. Then she don't know you. Okay. And then I don't know. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I'm glad that we got a good man, Finesse in here,
sir,
a
yes,
good
sir.
guest. We got a good man, DJ Cadero in here. And I'm glad we're bonding on this topic because that's kind of what I want to talk about, the black identity. Because just in the short story that we shared alone, like there's things that I can relate to.
Facts.
There's a lot of things that you guys can relate to.
sir.
But at some point in this black diaspora community, there's been some type of divide where I don't know where it came from, but the other week somebody said, Africans think they better than African Americans. And then you talk to African Americans, and African Americans think they better than Africans.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to talk about, huh? The black identity. Why we are both black, but we are not the same black. Same,
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
but still same.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So I guess the first question that I have for everyone, have you ever even heard that before? Have you ever even heard that Africans are better than the United States blacks, or the United States blacks are better than them?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that? Am I making this up?
You go first, Victor.
Well, snap. I mean, I feel like I have heard that, but it was more so that the African Americans are better than the Africans. You know, I feel like growing up here and going to school in America, I feel like as a kid you're teased about that a lot. Whether
Tease
it's
about what?
just the skin tone, ours being so much darker than theirs and having so much melanin. When they turn off the lights,
Ooh.
those jokes go crazy.
Them jokes do go crazy. I'm thinking of one right now in my mind. Okay, why they do that?
Raheem wants to crack jokes.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No, I don't.
I can see it in
No,
your face.
look, everybody, I do not want to crack any jokes. But I am recalling good jokes that were cracked. You know what I'm saying?
He was a demon back in the day.
What?
Swear to God. I swear
I bet he was one of those
I
guys.
bet he
One of
lit.
those
Bro,
guys.
I bet when he
Hold on.
saw Kevin Garnett, I bet he lit him up. You from South Carolina, right?
Nah,
Kevin Garnett's
I am from South Carolina,
Yeah.
but I too do not like to be picked at. Okay, so I wasn't doing none of the picking. I was doing the laughing, but the picking, I
He's
left
like
that
Jerry
up
Jones. I was just there to see what was going on. Badass. You know you was there.
It was the guy who joked. He was a
So you're Jerry Jones now. I was just there just to
No,
see what's going on.
come on. But I digress. So, you have heard that.
I have.
You have.
I've heard that African Americans are better than Africans.
You heard that. So,
heard
Tyler,
that.
what about you? What context have you heard that? Or are we just making it up?
No, definitely. I mean, we've all heard it. What I used to hear more of, because I was in more African circles, is our parents did not like African Americans. I'm gonna be honest. Like
They do
majority of the time when they would just get by themselves, and something negative happened in the city, and somebody's face was on the news,
It was us, huh?
Yeah.
those African Americans. just know that, bro, every single bullet from a verbal gun
Yeah.
was being shot out.
Yeah.
They're lazy. They're violent. They don't like to marry. They have kids out of wedlock.
Oh man.
And then when I got into high school, that's when, like, especially you talk to girls now you're really talking to girls, and it didn't happen to me so much, but it would happen to some of my friends where like one of my guys would be like, man, I'm trying to talk to her, and I'll be like, man, let me go
holla at them.
let me go say something, and then she'd be like, I don't really mess with Africans.
Oh, they disrespect you like that, though.
What?
Yeah.
So, and then I've had my own situation where more than enough, I've had African American girls tell me to my face, as if it's gonna turn me on, usually I don't mess with Africans, but you. And I would be like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I should get turned on.
I hope you say yes.
So there was a part of me that was like, I gotta fight for the culture.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Yeah, come
no.
on. It's a what do they call it? Backhanded compliment?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Even when it comes from the G words.
What, from the girls?
Yeah.
The thing is that sometimes each and every man, right?
Yeah.
Just like women have their turnoffs of men, which is many. I'm sure it's in the hundreds, right?
But
There are, all of us guys have like few things about women that's like, bro, the way she talks, the way she acts, the way she behaves, like that could turn us off. And sometimes I'd be like, I'm not into you anymore.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now you've shown the ugliness of you that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So sometimes I didn't go through with it.
Yeah. See, I got some things because the answering the question, like I've also experienced that as well. To be honest with you, growing up in my little town in South Carolina, again, as things started to progress, things started to change. But at that time, we didn't really have a big African community. It was until I got to college that I really started experiencing things. And when I started coming out here to Nebraska, then I really started experiencing things. So here's two situations where, I've seen it in person. First one, in college, talking about the G word.
Yeah,
So
girls.
I went to HBCU, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a lot of baddies at the HBCU.
Which HBCU did you go to?
Come on, man. The Virginia State University. You see it back here, man. You better quit playing
Oh,
with
that's
me,
right, you got the
man.
seal.
You better quit
got
playing
the
with me,
seal.
man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So Virginia State, I'm talking about baddies from all over the place. Up top, downtown, all around, baby. A lot of the black girls that you think was black, boy, be some fine African Jones, boy.
Really?
And I remember one time, I really didn't have this problem, but I remember one time I was out clubbing, boy, I was feeling myself. You know what I'm saying? I was looking good, I was feeling good, I was fresh, and it was this Joan, boy. She wasn't from Tanzania, she was from Ethiopia.
Okay.
Light skin, round thing, you know what I'm saying? But she was from the DMV area.
Yeah.
Her
That's
people,
That's where they at.
see what I'm saying?
They say 90% of taxi companies are owned by Ethiopia.
Whoa, why they say
In
that?
the DMV, yeah.
Yeah,
They say,
but that could be a fact. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let us
they
know,
say-
DMV, if that is true or not, or is that just another stereotype we need to break down? Okay, but this was the first time I felt that distinction because this Joan, she was a light skinned Joan. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about her life, but her people had stuff going on, and we was turned up, chilling all night. We was, chilling.
Yeah.
And it was about that time, you know what I'm saying? You know
yeah.
what time it was.
do, yeah.
And you know what this girl said to me?
Oh, no.
You know what she said to me? She said, I like hanging out with you and everything. You fun and all. But
But
I don't
talk-
usually do black dudes.
Wow.
Access denied. See what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But it was all right. You know what I'm saying? I've learned from that situation. Fast forward, I get out here in Nebraska. I ain't gonna call out nobody's name or nothing like that, 'cause I ain't trying to put them on the spot or something like that. But this is where I felt this again too. And you guys let me know if I'm tripping or not. Because when I first came out here, I ain't have shit. I wasn't about shit. I was still riding the bike, my guy. You know what I'm saying? But I was connected with the university, a medical university out here.
Yeah.
So I used to go to these functions. They have them at the physicians' houses. We're cooking out and we're grilling and things like that. So one day I'm an intern. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, your age. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm out here chilling. I get to this house. It's a mansion. It's some big time physician.
Yeah.
Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? So we chilling and everything. And I'm country just like I'm country. And everybody drinking and everything. So they was having a conversation. It was a whole bunch of Nigerian doctors all around. So I asked them, why don't y'all have a lot of people like me from the South up here? Because I was in this internship. It was mostly not like me. You know what I'm saying? And you know what they said to me? Black people are usually lazy. You are an exception. You know what I'm saying?
At a black medical conference.
At their house.
At a mansion at that.
You
too.
see what I'm saying? So this is when I was like, man, it's something going on here. This is something I don't know about. Okay. Huh? And that's kind of what I want to talk about. So now that we know that we're all aware of what this issue is, the question that I have is what does it really mean to be black? If some people think they're better than others, like, what does it mean to be black? And along those lines, what cultural traditions establishes that blackness?
Ooh.
Huh?
You want to set it off?
You can start off with this one, my guy. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, he's getting into the fundamentals, man, and these are some things that like I don't take the time to even think about because it can be really complex. I want to answer in chronological order. So you said, what is black?
What is black? What does it mean to be black?
So
And what's good black and what's bad black? What's
Yeah.
that?
So I think it's subjective with everybody, right? Because the person who is mixed, who has a black parent and then a parent from another race, white, Latino, Arab, they might say this is how I view black, or this is what it means to be black. And the person that's from the Caribbean is like, well, this is what black is to me. Person from Africa, different thing. For a person from Brazil, is a different thing. For me, I can only speak on this from my perspective.
Your perspective. What does that mean?
I feel that being black is cultural significances that like everybody else has the same skin tone as you, same skin color, can relate to. For instance, like we all know what it means. All of us knows what it means to be home before the streetlights come on.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's a fact.
That's
like
fact.
like
That's facts.
no matter African Caribbean, African American, African from the continent, we all know like if your dad sees you coming into the door and the streetlights were on,
Yeah.
we know what's about to happen.
I know what's about to happen. Yeah. And you know what else is a common thing? We talked about it earlier, but mamas, black mamas, I don't care if you got an African mama or an African American mama, they all act the same. They
Facts.
might
That's a
sound a
fact.
little different.
But they all act the same.
Come on.
The behavior is the same.
Come on.
So these are the things that I feel it's cultural significance where everybody knows. Everybody's understanding. So that's what I feel. That's how I see it as like, this is what it means to be black.
What about you?
What it means to be black, man, that's a good question. I'm not gonna lie. So, to just, I feel like to touch up on what Ochana just said, definitely about the culture. Like, the culture is what signifies blackness.
What's the culture?
The culture. Okay, so whether it's the music, the vibe that we just give, the dancing, and food.
Black people
especially
like the food.
Black people do like their food. You know what I'm saying? That is what it. I feel like to me is what it means to be black.
You
I
said
feel like that extinguishes us from the rest.
you
know?
said something, right?
You
You
talked
said
to me.
culture. One of those things is language. One thing I didn't pick up on until like the pandemic was I started realizing that even in the African American lexicon, right? The double word is also in African languages. Like
What double word?
so for instance, like somebody would be like I just gotta say it, man.
Say it.
So Plies had a song with Pleasure P. And it was called
I did not know this is what he was going to say, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was going to say something else, but go ahead.
Plies had a song with Pleasure P back in the 2010s decade. It was called Bust It.
Oh, my
Bust
God.
It.
It's a little more plies, man. Go ahead, man.
And in one of Plies' bars is like, she got that wet, wet. That double word is also in African vernacular as
Yeah.
well. I speak Swahili, like the word pole pole
Yeah.
means slowly, slowly.
Yeah.
But we also, and it's all over Swahili,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure in my father tongue, I'm sure in my mother tongue, like the double word. And I speak a little bit of Spanish. I haven't found that in the Spanish vernacular.
Yeah.
In
Spanish
Spanish.
people let us know.
So I say like that, like culture, that's in black culture all over.
That's a fact. Even
like the double word, like,
Yeah.
oh, you rich.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, like, oh man, she
She thick.
she thick.
Right. Come on.
Like, bro, we have it. All of us have
Yeah.
it, and I've always been amazed by it.
Yeah. I think, go ahead.
I was gonna say just touch upon the language. Even like you don't even gotta be a whole different language completely. I feel like us black folks, we all have our own language that we just understand. You know,
Yeah.
we say shit like "cuz." Like you ever been in like a proper let's say a proper environment with like white folks, when you have to emphasize and say the whole word.
When you code
Like,
switching?
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
code
like that.
switch and stuff. It's just
boy.
like I'm used to saying not cuz instead of because.
So you
know?
you be code switching, huh?
I to a certain extent. This is like, you know,
Language is meant to be understood.
Oh,
you ever
man.
seen that? You ever seen that TikTok, right? That'd be like, somebody like this, some guy was dancing with somebody else, and then she goes, like, the white lady goes, "Excuse me, do you know him?"
Yeah.
And the guy goes,
In the pool.
No, it's like, no, in the club, we all fam, you know. And then she says, "Excuse me, what?" Like she didn't understand the word fam.
Yeah,
Like, no, in
imagine.
the club, we're all family.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't until he said the whole word family that then she
That
understood,
she understood.
what he was talking. But us, you know,
We
we
pick
get
that
that.
up.
We
We-
got like
We,
fam,
we,
like you know.
we pick it up from the jump.
That,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's literally what distinguishes us from the rest. And
Even just that, we pick it up from the jump. Everybody here understood what that meant.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
We pick it up from the jump.
You know what that
Other people would be
is?
like, from the jump of what?
Yeah.
Of a cliff?
Nah.
Sir?
What?
Are you guys skydiving?
No.
Bungee jumping?
Should we be concerned? Nah. On that topic though, before we switch subjects like that, because I do got a question specifically on language, because in terms of what I've seen and what I believe and experience in terms of what it means to be black. What it means to be black is a lot of things. It's kind of like with the five senses, what you see, you smell, you touch, you hear. You know what I'm talking about? Because being black, it's a multitude of things.
Yeah.
All right. Like for one, to be black, you gotta have a black mama, and we all know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what that means. Whether she's big, she's short, she's fat, or she's skinny. They all the same.
Facts.
Huh? They all the same.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one. Two is a big pot. There's always a big pot somewhere involved in something with some good smells. There's always involved in something
Facts.
too.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Facts.
And we all got foods that we can share with that.
Facts.
Foods come into place. When you think of foods, this music that come to mind. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? There's experience that come into play.
Yes,
But
sir.
what I want to understand, because it seems like we all got that. But when did it start being different, huh? When it was like, that African American, no, or that African. When does that start to change, huh? But the question I want to address before that is because it seems like the key thing is language. You know what I'm saying? Because when we're out with people that don't look like us, it seems like we're resonating. But when it comes down to us, it seems like this kind of when these things come about. But language is one of the number one things that we use to communicate with each other. Body language is number one, but language itself is what we use to communicate those things. So my question is, how does language differences impact the black identity formation? When does it start to change that so the blackness
That I got no answer
is
for.
different?
He might be a professor in his other life.
I
man.
think so too.
'Cause-
Like,
I
this
am
is
an
like-
epidemiologist.
I think like these is questions you have to sit and think.
Did
I'm
you
gonna be
understand
honest.
that E word that he just said?
That last word right there?
Yeah.
No.
Neither
don't-
did I.
don't
Oh,
Not at all.
He could tell me that he's a mechanic, and I would know what he just said.
I ain't no mechanic, y'all. I ain't no mechanic. But I do want to know is how does language impact how we become different as black people?
You wanna take a point?
Ooh, this is so. I hope this relates to like you said in that segment. Like, when did it become we're gonna divide amongst us? And I think that since we're gonna keep it relative to the United States, is that you're looking at a people that came from countries where it's 98, 99% black.
Yeah.
So there was never an establishment of I'm black because my doctor's black.
Yeah.
My professor was black. The cardiologist is black. The masseuse is black. My house help is black. So I don't need to say that I'm black because everybody's black.
Yeah.
So those people differentiated themselves usually just based on tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's what is missing in America is that we don't necessarily look at things as from a tribal standpoint.
Yeah.
And I think that if we did, it would make things a lot more clear to
Yeah.
people.
So I throw the question back at you. because I'm gonna share an experience. Because this is when I personally, on my end, I felt that I was different. Back to that example I gave y'all at the mansion, and we was chilling.
Yeah.
This is when I knew it was different. But also speaking with other folks, this is kind of what I want to ask you guys, because you mentioned it yourself. You say you speak Swahili. I'm pretty sure you speak a lot of languages. How does language impact the black identity? And how does that make one think that they're better than one or they're lesser than another? Because I felt demeaned at this cookout because all these physicians, they speak French, they speak their native tongue, you know, Spanish, or a couple of language. They speak about 4 or 5 different languages. And all I speak is jive. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got. I got out the South Carolina. This is everybody that know me. This is how I talk. This is the only language I got. Okay, that's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? And I could see from one end, one type of person. Like, I speak 5 languages. This dude only speak English. I'm better than him. How does language impact this black identity?
I mean, I'll toss it to the guy that grew up here.
Yeah,
Do you only speak English?
Okay,
How does
so
that
actually-
how does that frame your black identity? Because I'm pretty sure you speak some languages too.
No.
Oh, so you blackity
yeah,
black like me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, okay, so yeah, sometimes I'll go to like these events, right? Or like an African event. Or they're hosting like a baby shower or whatever, and there's like full-fledged like Africans.
Conversation too, boy,
Yeah, like
and they be deep.
Like they going at it where some words I just can't understand. It's because I was born here, so I can speak some, but it's not fluent. It's real broken. And then here go my mama telling me that, her uncles or her brothers speak French. They speak Swahili. They speak Kirundi. That's the language that I speak.
So what is she saying to you when she's saying that? What is she saying?
It feels like they're better.
Oh.
It's just that.
That's the question I'm trying to ask.
I know.
How
but-
does language impact that?
So I really, it's just, and it's just like, and then I feel less than because it's like I can't even speak my own language properly. You know what I'm saying? It's like I mix it in with English because it's just I was born here, I was raised here for real. So it's like I mix in my Kirundi with English, and they call it like I forgot the terminology my mama uses for it.
You don't even know. You just like me. You don't know. But Ochanda know.
Yeah, I
Ochanda
feel
speaks
like-
18 languages. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like
Not fluently, but also, you know, there was a time where I didn't speak fluent Swahili.
really.
And do you know what would happen?
What?
Kind of like your situation. My mom and dad would be like, he doesn't speak it. And then I would be like, you're supposed to be teaching me.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's your fault. And then they would be like, all he does is just sit around all day like a cow.
Oh.
and piss. And so, yeah, like what you experience, bro, some of us that have been raised in America experience the same exact thing.
So is it because we're American that makes it different? I guess the question I have, what is that cultural thing that makes we better than them?
Yeah.
What is that cultural thing? If you could think about it, what is that? When does it start to bridge that divide? Is it can't speak the language? That might be one of them.
That might be
You know, what else?
I think
Dreads. Is that
appearance. I feel like appearance wise.
Yeah.
One thing too that was so hard. I think it's the pants sagging.
the pants sagging?
The pants sagging was a big one.
Yeah.
With the
Big one.
baggy pants. I know they used back in, because I'm
Yeah.
old, y'all. Baggy pants and you sag them, but they used to make people out their mind. What I don't understand is the tight pants. But we ain't going to get into that.
That's the
I don't
millennial.
understand that. But we ain't talking about that. But proceed.
But I truly feel it. I feel it's like appearance wise.
Yeah.
And like what you got on, just how you look. I feel like that's all. That's
Yeah.
an appearance too. I feel like that's where then it gets to like we feel like we're better than
Yeah.
the
Before you
African
go,
American.
Another thing I want to add, before it was lucrative, another differentiating factor was video games. When you couldn't make no money in video games, Negroes was playing video games, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Huh?
absolutely.
And if
Yeah.
you play video
Yeah.
games, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Huh? Go ahead.
if you had video games,
Yeah.
everybody'd come to your house.
Yeah.
People would used to get excited,
That's a
like,
fact.
"Oh, my cousin got the new one."
Yeah.
But,
But your mama wasn't happy.
she knew that. So there's a story, by the way. Since we're gonna talk about this, there's a story. I don't think we've ever talked about this on the air.
But we talking now.
So Max's dad has been.
Shout
not
out
that-
to Max.
Yeah. So Max is on my channel, on our channel, Kush Combos TV, and not that my dad wasn't serious, but it was just behind my dad's back that I used to do this.
What? Play video games?
We're gonna get to the.
Shame on you.
So after high school, I would go over to Max's house because Max had the latest, every new system Max had.
New game now.
Come on, it's Max.
Yeah.
So Max's dad was Max's dad I think had his first master's, his first master's degree at that point,
shit,
right?
Max's
so
dad.
Max's dad was so serious about education, right?
Yeah.
Typical East African dad, right?
That's a fact.
So one day, after months of coming to Max's house and playing video games, Max's dad, we hear the footsteps.
He's not happy.
He stands not in the door, outside of the door, but his
they do that?
presence. Yeah,
Why do they do that?
and of course the arm cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
in the
disappointment.
in the most calm, but also aggressive voice. I'll never forget it. Everybody that is in this house, they read books.
Shout out to Max's dad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then, wait. And he goes, if you don't read books, you're not in this house. And that's final. And he walks back to wherever he walked from, probably his office.
Yeah.
And Max turns and looks at me after. Max, by the way, for 10 seconds, I was behind Max on the bed and Max was on the floor.
Play the game.
No, the game paused. Max didn't unpause the game. We both stared off into the abyss as if that just didn't happen. Max finally turned around after 10 seconds and was like, sorry, man. because what Max's dad is telling me is, you gotta go.
You got to go.
You're not reading
You ain't
books.
gonna be playing, wasting my electricity
Not-
playing
not
these
only
videos.
that-
Oh my god.
Not only that, what I look like in that situation is I look like I'm influencing Max not to
Facts.
read books.
Oh.
Instead, play video
You
games.
look like a bad guy.
A bad kid, absolutely.
Mhm.
By the time I got home, my mom's like, "Why did you do that?" And imagine, I didn't even talk to her yet. And I go, "This is what I did." I went, "Huh?" And she goes, "Huh?"
They love that. Mama would be doing that too. Shout out to black mamas, boy. Come on now. This is universal.
Oh my god! So I think it's go
I
ahead.
know I was just gonna say what he said. Like, it really is universal.
Oh,
Yes, it
Wow.
is.
So I think it's back to like what you're saying, like what starts like that.
Yeah, what's
shift
that shift?
to like say like, hey, we are different. Behavior.
Yeah.
The typical African immigrant family that I know, their fathers are heavy on education.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that African American fathers are not heavy on it, but forget high school. It's almost expected for the African immigrant child, firstborn, secondborn, middle, last child, to graduate college.
Yeah.
Like, that's expected. What I hear from some of my, this is not me saying it, what I hear from some of my African American friends is like, growing up, like, they just wanted me to graduate high school.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So I think it's just behavior.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to like hound on this. I think it's because we don't look at things as like a tribal base. It's just, hey, that tribe, whom they call themselves the African Americans, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, they're just, they have their own morals and values that's
Yeah.
different from ours.
Yeah. You bring up some good points. First one, I believe firmly, is behavior. Because I do think, just like African people who come over here, or any people that come over here, you know, there's the first that came over and they behave a certain way. There's the second that come and they behave a certain way. And then there's the rest of them that nobody likes, okay? And they behave a certain way. So I do think it's a behavior thing. But like you mentioned also, I also believe that it's a tribal thing. Because like you mentioned, African people, this is it's tribal. There's a lot of tribalism embedded in the
Facts.
African culture.
Absolutely, it's in the blood.
It is.
Yeah.
And the same thing with African Americans, because once upon a time, these stories that you share, because it's funny that Mac's dad told on you before you even got home. You know what I'm saying? Black people, my mom and dad used to do that. And the communities that we used to grow up in, because I'm a little old, I grew up in the 90s. I'm talking about before the internet, you know what I'm saying? We had that same type of culture. I think, you know, with that type of tribalism, you know what I'm saying, and those behaviors, I do think those things are important. But I do want to bring up another thing, because it seems like we also have some shared stories, but it seems like some things are different too. And I think geography plays a part in some of this as well, because like my good man mentioned, you know, you got African roots, but you basically African American.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got heavy Africa. You be in Africa. You deep. You can't wait to go back. You know what I'm saying? You be in there. You know what I'm saying? Brother like me, I ain't never been to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I've, you know, been around has been in the United States. So what role does geography play in shaping that black identity?
You can start with this one.
So we got behavior, we got tribalism. So what about geography? How does that play a role?
This guy's a professor with
Hitting
it.
the man, one of these questions.
I mean, so one, when you're not at a place, like you're not, like, for instance, I would assume that like the Mexican Americans don't have every bit or don't do everything that the Mexicans in Mexico be doing.
Yeah.
Right? They might do 80%, 70%, but not 100%. So geography is key, because I think I've talked to Max about this a lot. Like, the more that us African immigrants remain in the United States, Brazil,
Yeah.
wherever, we're gonna lose every bit. Like, for instance, like one of the things that, like, I can't go into specifics, not because it's taboo, but just I can't remember it real well.
Yeah.
But there was a thing that like my mom used to do around December,
What?
and
Christmas?
is and it was like, well, because Christmas is
Kwanzaa? Is that the thing you talking about? Because my mama be trying to throw that on me too. She be like, you know what day it is? And I'm like, Mom, it's December 28th. No, fool, it's the third day of Kwanzaa. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It
My
was a
bad.
certain like.
I'm
thing,
sorry,
like,
Kwanzaa.
Like in December, she used to make like a certain meal, but like a certain way. She would add different things to it, right? But what I'm trying to say is that when I went back in 2012, I asked my sisters, like, I was like, "Hey, are we gonna do that?" And they're like, "You know, people don't do that anymore." And imagine it's because my mom has been here for 30 plus. So like, let alone land time has like spent where like, because I heard once a professor had said the purpose of culture is not necessarily music, food, language, is to solve problems.
Yeah.
Most people's culture is solving their problem at that particular time.
Yeah.
And so like, if the problem doesn't exist any longer, usually that specific culture is going to fade out.
Yeah.
So I'd say like when you're in a geographically different place, you're probably not facing the same issues.
That's facts.
And
Yeah.
so thus the culture is changing, and or it just doesn't even exist.
So I like to play devil's advocate, you know what I'm saying? Because me being from South Carolina, I ain't gonna lie, I am 100% American, African American, okay? You know what I'm saying? That's me. You know what I'm saying? When they talk about African American,
That's you.
that's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is my roots, you
Yeah.
know, because, you know, just real quick, before I start getting to what I'm about to get into, because my people, my granddaddy picked cotton.
Okay.
You know, my people were slaves. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That way back in the day, when you used to hear about that word, that was my people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, that's what I came up in. My daddy had 56 brothers and sisters. They was used to breeding. I can only imagine how many they had. My people had 11 brothers and I got 11 brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I put that out there because, you know, I like black culture. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the importance of my geography and how black culture is shaped, because there's a lot of bad in where I come from, but there's a lot of good too. But let's digress from that for a moment, because the story I want to bring up, I'm blackity black, okay? When, got 11 brothers, most of my family is from New York City.
Okay.
All right. I got brothers that used to come down, you know, and tell stories about how they'll come and get fresh on these, you know, country ass niggas, you know what I'm saying? They be out here making these moves, get money on these country ass niggas. It's like country ass niggas was just slow. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's a geographical difference. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what they was doing, but just cause they
came
look,
from the big city.
Man, come on, man. They're New York City. They got the name. They got the look. They got the activities. They got the behavior. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in a way, in terms of geography, it's like this pride. And this is what I'm asking for y'all. For the African, and I'm thinking about, in my scenario, like at the big mansion, and I'm surrounded by all the physicians. You know, does the divide come? Because what they probably didn't want to say, I'm assuming, but does this divide come when, in their mind, they like, I came all the way from where I'm from, all the way to I came in your hood. This your hood. And I got more money than you. I got this than you. I got that than you. And you cooking my food. Because I was cooking their food. I was on the grill, baby. Because that's what we do. We be grilling, baby. I was hooking them up. But does that come in part of that divide, especially in terms of geography, or maybe in terms of, what's the word? I don't know. But does that play a part into it? Maybe success, or maybe economics, or maybe a culmination of those. Being African, coming to America, and being perceived to be doing better than the black American, does that start to divide? Or does the divide come where Africans come to America and the African Americans are here and they're like, look at them. Does that start to divide? Where does this divide come? How does it start? We looking at you because you're a mix between both of us. You like when we do this? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
I mean, like, in my opinion, like, okay, so if I came here and started doing well, and y'all been here for a good minute, like, y'all was born here, and raised here.
See the African side coming out of it now, y'all.
And I'm coming off the boat.
Yeah, tell your truth, King.
You know what I feel? I'm coming off the boat. Y'all already had y'all turn to get settled in and plant y'all roots and do what y'all gotta do.
And
but
fucked it up.
But I'm here. I'm off the boat. And I start doing better than y'all, respectfully, I'm gonna start feeling different type of way. Towards y'all, like, I'm gonna divide myself.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna think I'm up here, respectfully, like, I'm up here while y'all, like, look at me. I'm in a mansion. I'm a doctor. I drive this nice car, like, and y'all, like you see, you was on the grill, fam.
Yeah,
like,
I was cooking.
You feel me?
I
like,
was happy too.
And
I was like, "What y'all want? Some chicken?"
I'm giving you that job, like,
Put the fries in the bag.
like, respectfully, I would think I'm on a higher pedestal than African Americans that been here for a good minute. And they had an accent, right? The Nigerians.
Yeah,
and,
they were speaking in languages too.
I'm saying, and y'all speak fluent English. You like y'all.
I don't know if my English is fluent.
There's no language. There's kind of sort of no language barrier besides the code switch. There's like sort of no language barrier between y'all. While there was, but I persevered. Now I'm here.
Yeah.
You know. So I feel like that right there would be the dividing factor.
That's the dividing factor.
Right there. Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it
That's
is.
when the ice start to.
Start to think we're better.
What about
Our
you,
folks
China?
is
Is
better.
that where the divide happens?
You want me to be truthful?
Be truthful. That's what we.
honest,
This
man.
is cultural conversations, man. We're trying to uncover the truth.
So, I'm gonna stick on the behavior thing, but I'm also gonna say that, like, I just believe with all the bones in my body that, like, human beings will just divide themselves. I'll give you an example. Like, I grew up with three younger brothers. The moment that I wasn't fresh, that I didn't like, even if I just woke up and got out into the living room and they were already out in the living room.
Because getting fresh is an integral part of being black. Okay.
The moment that I would come out looking like I still got crusties in my eyes,
looking dusty.
just looking, ooh,
Yeah.
like what's that clip? Ooh, what's that?
What's that, brother?
If I look like that, my brothers would get on me. My younger brothers.
Yeah.
My
Don't
younger
be on your
brothers.
ass.
Like they'd be like, look at us, Dusty. Bro, and they start.
And that's your younger brothers.
And these are my younger
You're supposed to
brothers.
be leading by example. You didn't fuck the example all up.
Damn.
They knew they couldn't fight me. That's all.
Okay,
They
so-
can just keep it at the jokes, but if we go backyard.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Fighting is an integral part of the black community too. But I digress. Go ahead.
And so I think like even my brothers, like in that moment, I'm sure if somebody were to come over, they'd be like, no, we're different from our older brother that's Dusty.
Yeah.
So I just think like any chance that like human beings get to like, seem prestigious, they'll do it.
Yeah.
We have all been on airplanes now, right?
Yeah.
Especially in 2024. When you don't have a first class seat,
Yeah.
just look at the way
Boy.
when you're walking past
They're
first
looking
class.
at you.
Look at the way that those people in first class
Yeah.
look at you walking by. I remember one brother. It was a brother.
Yeah.
I remember one brother.
He had a Rolex.
I can't remember his.
Because you can't sit in first class if you ain't got no Rolex now. Every brother I see in first class, Rolex. It be out too, boy. Like, damn. Put it up. Put your Rolex up.
But I remember this brother that I made eye contact with as I'm going to my economy class. He went like this. He went, and he took his headphones real slow and crossed his legs as if to say
Ew.
like.
You
I
can't
don't
even look my way.
Wait, what was that girl from like Dr. Phil? I'll never be like those Negroes.
Yeah. He basically sucked his teeth with body language.
Like this. Who are you all? Hi.
Yeah.
So-
See that translated into African Americans? Look at this dusty ass nigga. Oh,
Get to the
bum
bag.
ass nearby.
Your ass to the
Yeah,
back.
Just
come
put the
on.
fries in the bag,
All
bro.
that goddamn luggage, man. Take your goddamn ass holding up the motherfucking flight. So, let's, because we're coming up on our time. You know what I'm saying? We've said a lot.
We've been
Because
kicking it.
it sounds like we tell a lot of jokes. We try to be serious. These are cultural conversations.
Yes, sir.
So, the black identity.
Yeah.
All right? The divide. We mentioned culture.
Yep.
We mentioned tribalism.
Yep.
We mentioned geography.
Yes, sir.
We mentioned
Behavior.
behaviors.
Yep.
And we also mentioned social status.
Classism.
Classism. Okay. Oh, Mr. Professor. Who's the professor now? So we mentioned all of these things. So as we begin, the first question I got for everybody is, okay, so if all of these things are true, all right, what does that mean for the black person now, whether you're African or African American? What does that mean for them in the future? Because a lot of these things, because what we didn't talk about is time. All right? A lot of these things is based on time. All right? So what do these things look like 20 years from now? You know, how do these things play a factor into the younger generation? What does the black identity look like now into the future?
For me, I feel like for the people, or for the younger generation, as far as like African born here or like being raised from here, I feel like they're bound to fall into the category of what us Africans consider not good, in a sense, you know?
What's not good?
Whether it's let's say the behavior part,
Mhm.
the behavior, how they talk, losing their native tongue, and just that. I feel
Are
like
you
it's-
talking about yourself?
I am, yeah.
He's like, young African people, don't turn it to me. Look at me. Don't do that.
But I feel like I'm still on the scale. I'm good considered
Yeah.
to like most. You know, I just can't speak my native tongue on
Yeah.
that. But,
Now
know
you
what
gotta
I'm
get that together.
saying? And the way I talk, he would think I'm from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
And
from here?
I actually am. I was raised.
He has a necklace choker. He's like, I actually am from here, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
This is the only way you're gonna distinguish me. You know, I got the flag. It says Burundi gang. Like that's the only way y'all gonna know.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. He'll switch up on y'all.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, if I was to have like a jit, like yeah, I would try to like include them in our culture. But most likely, they gonna look and they gonna feel like they're from here. You know. So yeah.
China, what about you?
Yeah,
Well,
I
how
mean,
does, go ahead.
same thing. I mean, in 20, 30 years into the future, yeah, you're going to have these African immigrants, the offspring, the descendants of them, of 2024, you're going to have the descendants of them just being like the black people of America.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing either, though. Why is because I've attended so many things that are the movers and shakers of Nebraska, of Omaha. I lived in Minneapolis where I attended black expos, black only expos. So I don't necessarily look at that as a bad thing. I look at, there's some times where I look at parts, because I've traveled a lot of the United States. I look at parts. I haven't been to South Carolina yet.
You
So
gotta
my bucket
come.
list.
It's a lot of love, a lot of racism too, but it's a whole lot of love.
There's racism in Nebraska too. Man.
Facts.
So it's like I don't think I've ever not heard anything, but I feel like there's some parts of the United States that are satellite African nations.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like
know.
Omaha.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of South Sudanese here.
Man, there's a lot of African people in general from all types of countries.
So that I went to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Man, black people are there, Africans are there. So, yeah, it's slowly especially. I mean, this you could just name it with anywhere. If I was in Brazil, yeah, the African immigrants in Brazil would eventually just be Brazilian.
Yeah. See, what I think, you guys, I believe you guys are true. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong or something like that. But what I think, in terms of the future, the black identity, I think is going to come down. Because a lot of the things that we listed that are these dividing factors, what I really think is going to come down to is really one thing mainly, but two things in specific. And it's behavior and it's classism. Because again, I went to HBCU, I came out here, you know, I've seen black people beat black people. And I think we talked about it in our last episode. But a lot of the Africans that I met in college, I didn't know they was Africans until they told me they was Africans. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You know, I thought
Yeah.
they was just a brother from DC. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we already had that integration of the black community here in America, where Africans can code switch as black people. Hell, y'all can code switch as a lot of people. And that comes down to the point, because I think in 20, 30 years from now, what we deem is the black or good or bad African American, it's going to be a whole lot different. All this stuff we're talking about, it ain't going to make no sense. It's just going to sound like a bunch of nonsense, because the thought of that identity is going to be different. Look what's going on now. And I brought up my college experience for an example, because if we were integrating like that then, imagine what it's going to be like in the future, because we got a lot of black people that's doing a lot of things, and you talk to them, you realize they ain't even black. They may be Indian, they might be, you know
Is he
what I'm
talking
saying?
about a presidential candidate?
Oh shit!
Is that
ain't saying no
is
names.
that what he's
But
saying?
all I'm saying is the black identity can be replicated. Hell, I even seen TikTok videos of Chinese people getting cornrows and
Yeah,
dreads
we
and
all
waves
seen those, yeah.
and tans, and they looking a little black too. But what I think it is going to be a re-evolution of the black culture, because once upon a time, a lot of these places that we think are places were black places. All right? They wore black places. We can get it at another episode. But what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a reset, and it's going to come down to behaviors, and it's going to come down to classism. Who got more money? Who acts better? Because with this internet and all this, like, it's a lot of wild stuff going on. But that comes down to my last question for the night, because we're on our last 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So with this whole conversation, what does it mean to African and African American people right now in terms of this divide? What does it mean in terms of moving forward or unity? What do we need to do to move forward? Should we continue this divide? Should we find a way to get some resolution? Should we start doing something different? What does this mean?
For me, I feel like, just speaking, I feel like as a human being in general, like, we need to stop with the classism and thinking that one person is better than the other because of their status, or also just appearance too, thinking that this person is bad because they got the long hair, because they got the dreads. I mean, folks that sag their pants and they good folks. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to like stop like putting an identity or portraying a person a certain type of way just because of their appearance or that they ain't got that much money on or whatever the case may be.
Or where they're from, or their status, or whatever.
It's all about what's in here, like the heart. Like, if you really a good person, if you genuine, I'm gonna fuck with you regardless if you African, black, whatever, Asian, Indian, whatever the case may be. It's just all about your personality and who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Charlie? How do we start to
bridge the gap?
Bridge the gap.
Number one, you just got to be open-minded. If you're not open-minded, it's not going to happen. It starts with you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, at most things, 80% of your life starts with you. If you don't want to do it, then you won't do it. Okay, cool. But if you do want to do it, trust and believe that, like, what's awesome about life is that some people call it pseudoscience of, like, the law of attraction. But whatever it is that you want to accomplish, the people that should be along your path, they'll come into your life.
Yeah.
Without you planning for it. So I say, like, if we do want to bridge this gap, those individuals that do, just keep on doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And trust and believe, at least in your path, it will happen. The second thing that you could do is get involved in politics. Because then you can start being involved in the laws, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's legislation or actually, like, hey, I'm here. I can press buttons to make things happen, to make a grant go this way.
Yeah.
To make, a prevention.
In these powerful places.
Absolutely.
So bringing value to the table, that's what you mentioned.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it starts with you as the individual.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
You bring good points, and I want to piggyback off that, because what I also believe is all these things that these young men has mentioned, but I think the most important thing is as you need to integrate yourself into other people's culture, because I go to a lot of African events. I go to cookouts. I go to baby showers.
Are you cooking at those events?
Nah, I ain't cooking no more. I done learned my lesson. You know what I'm saying? I ain't cooking no more. And I done moved up to my status. Sometimes I be switching up, but I don't cook no more.
Yeah.
I will order something and have somebody else bring it.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I'm one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be there though.
He's an uppity African now.
Oh yeah.
I might be. My last African event though. I ain't gonna lie though. My last African event, because this is what I be doing. They went and cause I'm allergic to shellfish. You know what I'm saying?
Being from South Carolina.
Yeah,
That's right.
You'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? But they went. They ordered all of these oysters, and I went and picked them up. You know what I'm saying? I said, I got you. I go pick them up. So I do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I want to let them know.
He doesn't want the uppity stigma.
You know what I'm saying?
He has to say a stupid story like that.
I have to remain humble.
That's what I was going to
You know what I'm
say.
saying?
He's trying to remain humble for y'all.
But check this out. I think
That had nothing to do with anything. I loved it.
it does
Oh.
because you have to be there.
Oh,
And
okay.
You got to go to these places.
I take it back.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I think the divide comes because we're not integrating ourselves directly into these cultures. Because like the black community, one of the things that we have with the identity is the cookout. We have these family functions. We have these gatherings. But unless you're there, you ain't part of the tribe. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
But now I think being that black culture is so diverse, you know, you might be chilling with Michael, and he might seem like he's from Detroit, but he's really from, Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? And when his people have events and they're dressed up in the kente cloth and they're cooking things you don't know, you go and you get a plate. You know what I'm saying? You get two. And you might not speak the language, but get a couple of drinks. You'd be like Andre 3000. You'd be speaking all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think moving forward, because I think it's really bigger than our divide, because our divide is just a little piece of the big divide. You know what I'm saying? Because there might be African Americans, but to others, we all black.
Facts.
And we all the same, and they don't want to fuck with us. So I think fixing that image, that behavior, the tribalism, getting more interconnected, being involved, going to these places, integrating our culture. So 20, 30 years from now, it's a culture that we help develop to pass on to the future instead of something they created from the internet. You know what I'm saying? So with that, we're up on our time, y'all. We're going to close out. Thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for all of our guests coming in, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
thanks for everybody holding everything down, and let us know about your topics. Let us know what you want us to discuss next week, because we're just trying to have these cultural conversations to bridge the gap. So until next week, peace out.
Peace.